Hello everyone, Molton here. Welcome back to our speed run. So get a Petroff defense. So our ratings jumped a little bit, by the way, because I actually misrecorded a few games. The audio wasn't working, but I've managed to fix that up now. So everything should be working a lot better, which is a shame because there's a couple of quite nice games there. But okay, back to the Petroff defense. Let's go for something different. What did we go for last time? We went for one of the main lines, which didn't work out that well. See if we can come up with something different this time. So play the move pawn to d4. So c4 is sort of main line again. Bishop d3. Maybe we'll go for something along the lines of knight d2. This is what I think Magnus played against Nepo in one of the World Championship matches. Let's go knight to d2. I don't think it actually gives white much, but it's a very safe move. Castles. Okay, so black wants us to take twice and then play rook e8 because we haven't yet castled our king. So let's just castle the king first. Bishop to f5. Yeah, these symmetrical type of positions can be quite difficult to play sometimes, or difficult to imbalance the position. To e8. Okay, so I think the maneuver here for white can be to play knight f1, knight g3. I can't take the knight because black just recaptures back. Doesn't help. So let's go knight to f1. Yeah, the structure is very solid here for black. Plays knight to c6. I'll play pawn to c3. Similar to a variation of the Berlin defense. Next, maybe I play knight to e3. Yeah, knight to e3 is a very interesting move. Might provoke him to bring the bishop back to e6. But at the same time, I'm not really threatening to take the pawn. He does have some bishop takes h2 ideas as well. Okay, maybe we have to start trading some pieces with knight to g3, I think. He doesn't want to trade pieces. He's preparing to play f5. So I think in these positions, if you can trade off the dark squared bishops, it's quite handy, but not easy to do at the moment. Queen b3 is tempting, but it runs into all sorts of tactics because I leave the bishop undefended. But this does come with check. Well, maybe I will play queen to b3 because I always have bishop takes h7 with check, so that's not a problem. Okay, so it goes knight a5. Now I could take the pawn on d5. Why can't I take the pawn on d5? Attacking the knight. If bishop takes here, I have bishop takes e4. I think this is okay. It's definitely risky there. Takes bishop oh, actually he has knight takes f2 ideas as well. It probably does work, queen takes d5, but I don't want to spend the time calculating that all out, since there's no increment on this time control, so I might just go for this one. But of course this allows f5. Knight to e5 is a move here. Maybe bishop takes, rook takes is f3 ideas. I really need to get rid of his knight from the e4 square. I think this knight is a real pain. Should we start with knight e5? Okay, knight to e5. To go for f3? So he gave up his dark squared bishop, which I'm fairly happy with. If he goes rook takes, I go f3. And then I pick up the rook because of the pin. I mean, if he doesn't do that, then I was thinking I could even defend the pawn with f4. The only problem is this knight is, this knight is just a pain in this particular line. I probably have to play f4 now, but now the knight is also very strong on this e4 square. Queen h4 is a good move. I want to take here with the knight. I don't want to give up my bishop. Make it rook f1, knight takes. There's a trick here. I can actually play an in-between queen to f2. That way I don't have to recapture. I don't have to recapture here. So I can actually play this move queen to f2. And I think that might have been a mistake from him, because now I can actually take the knight with the pawn, and he's also gone rid of the knight from the good square. His bishop is also bad, and I have the two bishops as well. He certainly didn't have to take the knight. He could have played a different move, but then probably I would take at some point, and then or start with bishop e3, then think about taking afterwards. I mean, I'm happy to trade queens if he wants to trade queens. Get the king towards the center. I'll play rook d8. Get two bishops past the e-pawn. Black has this bishop stuck on h7, so white must be clearly better here. So do I want my bishop here or do I want my bishop on a3? So if I put my bishop on a3, then it can support the passed e pawn. I think this is better because it supports the passed pawn. This one's probably a mistake. Bishop b5. Or does he have rook to d8? Yeah, I didn't see rook to d8 actually. I did not see rook to d8, but I don't think it matters because I have this check and then the passed e pawn runs pretty quickly up the board. Yeah, this bishop is stuck outside the game. It just never gets back into the game. That's the problem for black here. He did have a very nice position at the start. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, second game against the Petroff. Not convincing. I mean, our first game was also not convincing. This one also, black is fine. I mean, the Petroff is just a very good, solid opening for black. Maybe next time we need to go for something a little bit more ambitious. Because, yeah, I mean, it's very equal position here. Very, very solid for both sides. Queen b3, knight a5. I wonder if we can take the pawn. No, we can't actually take the pawn. So lucky we didn't do this. But why can we not take the pawn? c6, queen h5, bishop g6. Oh, I see the queen is getting chased around. It might even get trapped. Let's say the queen comes back to h3, knight takes. Okay, now there's some tactics because the bishop is no longer on h7, so it doesn't come with check. So now our bishop's hanging and we have a lot of loose pieces everywhere. So this is very dangerous. Queen c2, f5, knight to e5. Still okay, although it likes c5 here for black. It makes a lot of sense to play c5, putting pressure on this pawn and maybe exchanging the pawns, playing rook c8 afterwards to try and take full advantage of white's bad queen positioning. And maybe after c5 black can even swing the knight back to c6. So yeah, c5 would have been a very good move here, but after takes, knight c6, f4. So here white is got an edge. Queen h4. So bishop takes is an option. Rook f1 is also an option. Queen f2. Yeah, this end game after the queen trade is, I would say, lost for black. Just because of the passed pawn and the two bishops supporting it. Start pushing up and making a queen. So if it takes, we have to move pawn to e7 and promotion, followed by mate afterwards. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all on the next one.